Alright, this is a check it out video for my new Lenovo P53. I got this computer to replace my T480, and I'm just gonna say a few things about it, about the research I did when I bought it. So, if you're looking to buy one of these, I kind of hope to maybe give you a little bit of a clear idea on some of the things about this computer. The major things that I'm going to be talking about are the 4K display, its size, and the performance and battery hit because of that 4K display. Now, the reason why I bought this computer was because I wanted a workstation that I could really just take anywhere, especially while traveling. Because I'll be going to work, or I'll work from home, or I'll go to the island and work from there. Or if I'm just traveling around the world, not that I'm doing that right now anyways. But to start with, this is, it's got a 4K display, which has a touch screen, and you can use a pen on it. And that also means that I got the Xeon processor with the Quadro 5000 RTX, and I also got it color calibrated, as you can see on that fancy sticker there. And that was the main reason why I got the 4K display, is because it's the only option that you can get color calibration, and you can get the pen screen. So the drawbacks of the 4K display, if you have done a bit of research on this, you'll know that it has a visible digitizer. And I'll say that the digitizer is only really in effect with whites. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it on here, but that is kind of the deal. You're only really able to see it if you're kind of like this close to the screen. When you come back, you're not going to notice as much, but you can still sort of see it. It's not invisible. But when you're watching videos or backgrounds such as this, you really can't notice it. So it's not a big deal. The other thing about this laptop is, with the 4K display, it is power hungry. I get about a morning's worth of work out of the battery before I have to plug it in. So that's, I want to say, 3.5 to 4 hours. The other thing is, when you're gaming, if you plan to game on this thing, don't expect it, if you opt for a 4K display, to get 4K gaming out of this. You will be able to play games, kind of no problem. But you're going to get a performance hit, and you're going to probably see about a 20 frame hit, I would say. When I run Overwatch, I can run it on ultra settings, and those settings, like, so you can see here, it's running fine, but when you get into close combat, high intensity, it's going to drop below 40 for sure. And with most games, you can change the settings, but what's really awesome with Overwatch is that you can change the resolution render scale and keep everything else 4K. The problem is not all games have that, so just keep that in mind. But you will be able to play Overwatch and games as such, and hopefully games in the future will have options as Overwatch does to be able to allow you to game like that. And I guess the last point that I would like to show that's kind of a major consideration when you buy this thing is, are you buying something that you're willing to lug around, or are you buying, are you trying to go for something portable? Because honestly, you don't need what I bought to get something similar. You could get a 1080p display with a fairly decent NVIDIA card and battery in the form factor of the T480, and it's gonna be much cheaper, but you're not gonna get in on those capabilities such as ray tracing. Also, I'm not too sure if you can get Xeon processors with those other options. You might be able to get an i9, but with the Xeon processor, you're capable of ECC memory, which is what I bought. So that's the main reason you go for one of these. And to give you guys a little comparison here, here is the T480 lined up next to the P53, and another thing to note is that P53 has its own, Lenovo plug, so that's something you're gonna have to be concerned about, and it's twice as heavy as the T480, or it'd probably be 3 times as heavy as, probably a Carbon or something like that. And the other thing you're gonna have to deal with is this brick. The power brick is, it's a real cable, or sorry, real heavy duty kind of power cord, unlike the T480 here, which is a nice USB-C, fairly light, just put in your bag and go. You're gonna have to spend a little bit more time packing this guy. Anyways, that is the major things I was looking at when I bought this computer. I hope this sheds some light on this computer if you decide to buy it. I'm really happy with it. I'm glad I can now take my hobbies with me. So, you can do game development, you can do 3D CG work, you can do illustrations, you can do pretty much anything, especially if you get the server memory, you can do server work as well. So it's a great computer, and there's lots of options for it. And the other thing I'd probably advise, if you are going to be traveling a lot, you can also get the SIM card for the LTE, which is just located here, beside the USB-C and the head jack. And if you're a photographer, you can get your SD cards, and it's got lots of ports, and you can check out the specs on the site. But that's pretty much it. Thanks.